does one pluck the courage to leave a toxic environment? Identifying the level of toxicity. Once you realize that you are not where you need to be, you know there is a place that is specifically made for you. You have to be somewhat delusional in knowing that there's a better environment. And you have to work to the skin of your bones until you get there. You have to be hungry for change and ready for adversity. You're going to be uncomfortable, but in the end, you'll be back home where you actually belong, around the people that actually belong in your new space, in reality, that you are going to create for yourself. The trick is knowing that you have the ability to shift your reality in any direction. Faith is important, but action is going to be your best friend.
Yes.
You're going to have to make actionable changes. It's going to be hard because no change is ever easy. But once you are out and you realize how much better you feel, how much more you are growing, you're going to crave change like it's nobody's business. Step dos is going to be getting away, and it's broken into two parts: getting away and then staying away. The most important thing that you're going to do is make a plan of action. So no matter how old you are, this can work for a teenager, this can work for any grown person, it doesn't matter. You're going to need a plan of action. And the reason why I call it a plan of action is because you're actually going to have to take action. Plans without action pretty much are just some stuff written off onto paper. You actually have to plan it, and being able to have the courage to take the action and the leap of faith. Now that you've identified and visualized that there's a future that might be better for you, you are now going to do everything in your willpower to get yourself there. Now, getting away. I can only speak from my own personal experience, and I'm going to put a disclaimer right here. I only give advice that I myself would take because I've already been through the situation or the scenario. So I've gotten myself out of a couple of really bad toxic environments, whether that be work, family, relationship, friends. And so I have the expertise to be able to give you this advice, and that's why I will share a few things about myself as I go through this. So getting away. When I was 16, I had to leave home. Home was very toxic, and it was toxic to the utmost levels of toxicity. I won't go too far into it, but I had to leave because it would have ruined my future if I had continued to stay there. And I was young, but I realized that life was going to be a little bit harder for me than the average teenager. But I also kept in mind that where I was going to be way more important than where I had been. So you're going to have to realize that where you're going is going to be better, but it's going to take a lot of effort. It's going to take a lot of willpower. You are going to have to shift your mindset, your perspective, and your environment so quickly that you don't even recognize, and that where you are and how uncomfortable you really are going to be. I'm just going to tell you, you're going to be uncomfortable because you're going to be around different people and environments and scenarios that you have no idea how to operate in, because you've only operated in spaces where negativity was basically the thickness of the environment that you were in. So you're going to have to learn new things, patterns, behaviors. You're going to have to study the people that you're around, and it's going to be hard, and you're going to be tempted to turn around and go back the other way because you're used to familiarity, which is toxicity at this point. If you're asking this question, it's because you've identified, hey, I want to change, and what I'm in right now is not good for me, but you have no idea how to get out of it, right? All I can tell you is that these things are going to be broken down based off of your situation. So it's all relative, right? So when I was 16, I kind of got pushed out, but I essentially identified a family that would take me in. I called a friend. She was the only woman I knew that would help me, which was one of my friend's parents. And she would give everybody rides and make food for everybody. So I knew she had the financial means to help me. I called her. She picked me up. She told me I could stay there, but I had to take care of myself. So we created a plan. Like, you're 16, you have to get out of this environment. I'm gonna help you to get to the next level, but you need to understand that it's gonna be hard. You're gonna have to work harder than your friends. You're gonna have to stay in school, work hard, do your sports, and work at the same time. And that's, for most high school students, that's a given. So I actually was happy to be put in an environment where I could actually grow, whereas to the environment I was in before, they didn't want me to do anything outside of domestic labor in my house in general. So I was basically the maid of the household and the brain of my entire family, and I just couldn't focus on school, which I knew would get me to a better place, but they wanted me to focus on cleaning and domestic labor. But I always knew I was better than that, and so I kept my eye and my mind on what was right and true and what I knew for myself. So that's going to be the biggest thing, is getting away and then staying away. You're going to be tempted to turn around. These people are not going to be doing better. A lot of times they're still doing the same things, and you're going to have more, and you're going to want to turn around, and you're going to want to help everybody. But the thing is that they'll just put holes in your boat, and then you'll sink. You have to realize that if they wanted to do better, they would do better. So staying away is just as important as getting away. Making a plan of action and sticking to those steps, and just striving to put yourself in better environments so that your mindset can shift. Read books, put yourself in spaces and around people. I like going to the gym. Everybody's working harder to be a better version of themselves. Go to the library. Just put yourself in places where people are trying to do better and be better. So step 3 is going to be the changing environments for the better. Getting yourself around better people. I kind of just introduced the idea in step 2. So one of the things that I did was I changed my friends. They say change people, places, and things. That's always taught in NA and AA, Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous. Don't ask me how I know. I'm not an addict, but I have been around a lot of them. And so I learned a lot from NA and AA. Essentially, you go in and you shift everything dramatically. You get away from everything that you know, everyone that you know. That's why the most successful people have gotten out of their hometown. They have gotten away from the people that only see them in one way, in one version, and they go around and they get to environments where people actually see them the way that they actually truly are. And this is why you need to create distance away from your family and your, negative and toxic friends. And then you will meet people that are actually aligned with who it is that you are trying to become and who you were going to be. One of the people that I met on my journey when I was, I think I was like 19, was Ashley. Yeah. This is my best friend, and she's one person who I watched her family, who they are very healthy people and they have really healthy relationship dynamics. Getting around her family made me realize what a real family looks like and what a non-toxic environment looks like and what kind of future I could give to my kids. Roommate, she's my best friend, and she's like a sister to me outside of my own family. So I just wanted to show that you can have a healthy dynamic and you can find family outside of your family. If the toxic environment is your family, that you can find people that believe in you, that want to see you be better, that might know and have the tools to being better. I've learned a lot from her and her family, especially when it comes to finances. They're Jewish, so you should know what that's like. Her dad's an accountant, and so they've taught her a lot of things that I didn't necessarily get taught in my family, and I've just watched them. I love when I am around them to just see how healthy they are and seeing what a product of that environment can look like. You have to make sure the people around you actually want to see you grow, that they're not trying to keep you stagnant, that they're not trying to help you feel comfortable and not grow. You have to push each other to want to continue to be better and reminding each other at times who you could be if you kept pushing forward. So
don't limit yourself, and always know that you can do anything you put your mind to.